Whew, well, I've had a busy day. I'm just going to have a rest now and give you a quick tour around the plot. The plot is at kind of peak chaos, I would say, at this point in time. I don't really like it at this point, you know, because I like things a bit neater. But I like the fact that we're pulling in a lot of harvest, and that just during September and early October, so much of it will be cleared and replanted and sort of back under control, and the workload will drop like a stone, and we'll just be, you know, enjoying leisurely gardening all the way through winter, well, autumn, winter and early spring. So yeah, let's have a quick look. So we're just passing the composting area. I've got 3 cubic meters of compost made so far, which is pretty good. And I've got my seedlings on here. I do a dedicated seedling video, so I'm not going to dwell on those. I just find this a really nice place to start my seedlings because it's just here as I walk onto the plot. So I'm always sort of keeping an eye on them, keeping them watered, making sure they're not suffering at all. And then, yeah, all the way down this fence here, I've got climbing squash, and they're doing pretty nicely. This one, which is kind of rooted underneath the compost bin, is a monster. I think when I did the last count, I got 7 crown prince squash growing on just that one plant. So that is kind of crazy. Winter leeks, colettes, doing very nicely. We have got 4 different beds of colettes. They are without peer, I think, as winter brassica. So tasty, so prolific, so reliable, so flexible. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the actual colettes on the stems of the plant, just like a Brussels sprout, and you can eat the tops. And then in spring you get an extra flush of leaves. And then we've got the Brussels sprouts. They're coming on quite nicely. Pretty pleased with those. And then we've got the spring leeks, the gooseberries, the storage beetroot, and they're doing pretty well under there. So we've got the golden ones here, we've got the red ones here, and we've actually got a bit of a glut of beetroot. Not here, this is about what we need for winter, but actually scattered around my plot and the kitchen garden at home and my wife's plot. We've got a few extra beets that we haven't actually managed to get through this year. So next year we know to reduce the volumes a bit. So under here we've got the Asian greens under this net, just to keep the flea beetle off, and then we've got more Asian greens down there, and then that scrappy looking bed is the last of the melons. So here we've got the 3 honeydews in this bed, and then in this bed, kind of a bit hidden away, we've got the youngest of the cantaloupes. So these aren't quite ready yet. I think we've had, I don't know, 8 cantaloupes so far and 2 watermelons, and obviously there's lots of mildew on these now, but they're all far enough on now that they're all going to ripen fine, so nothing to worry about there. In raspberries along here, strawberry runners, and the strawberry bed. I'm so pleased with this strawberry bed, I've got to say. So this is new this year, Mara de Bois, I think it is. And it's just giving me a really lovely crop of strawberries. I'm eating them every day. Yeah, it's such a treat to have strawberries at this time of year. And all the way around the outside there, on this climbing frame, we've got more climbing squash. We've got, again, sort of crown prince. Maybe you can just see them kind of down the bottom there. But there's some more up high. I don't know whether you can see them. Even I can't see them, but I think there's one there. And then some more down here. And there's also Trumbuccinos and centre cut on this frame. This frame has struggled a little bit because this is its first year and everything's just planted in the paths, and so the nutrition that's available to these plants is not so great. I'll work a little bit harder on it next year and hopefully these will be even more productive, but given the summer we've had, I'm pretty pleased with the size of the crop. And then down there, that was where I had tomatoes, early tomatoes and celery and French beans, and I've just cleared that and planted salad and celery plants that I cleared. Just had to pot it up. And then we've got some really quite nice peppers. And I've got 3 pepper beds with sort of lettuces interplanted into them and sort of beetroot at the back. So carrots there, carrots there. These are the ones for summer and autumn. Those are the ones for winter and spring. In this bed, we've got lettuce, turnips, radicchio, and spinach and radish. And this was the onion bed. We harvested 300 onions from that bed. Little orchard area, asparagus, lettuce, again under nets. It's because it's interplanted with Asian greens. And then here, and there, we've got purple sprouting broccoli, 3 different varieties maturing at different times and in multiple successions, so we get a nice continuous harvest all the way through winter, spring and late spring. And I've got some more peppers, again some nice peppers coming, really quite prolific now, although they were very slow to start for reasons that I've gone into on previous videos, but I'm pretty pleased with those. And they've got radishes and turnips around the outside. More salad onions, more giant peppers, and early strawberries that have all had the tops taken off and they've all regrown really nicely, and lots of pears, more seedlings, first early parsnips, ochre, potatoes, New Zealand spinach. So let's just pause for a minute and just tell you about my newsletter. So if you go to steverichards.substack.com or look in the description below, you'll find a link to my newsletter. You can subscribe for free or you can choose to pay. It doesn't matter which one you do, you get exactly the same content. Just some people will choose to support me, which is really nice. And yeah, so that tries to surface all of the content from my database of sowing dates and varieties and types of veg and seed packets and all of that sort of thing in a timely manner. So you get just the information you need for the week that you read in the newsletter and a little bit of advance information for the following week. And it just also tries to bring into the newsletter links and snippets of information from the book so that you've got all of that information as well to hand. And finally, it gives you a bit of a broader perspective on what it's like to live an allotment life as part of a broader sort of good life. So if you're interested in any of that, take a look at the newsletter. And let's get on with the tour. And in this bed, this was also cantaloupes. I think that's pretty much it, apart from the dregs of courgettes and the crazy polytunnel. I always clear this polytunnel at the end of September and get it completely replanted, but right now we've just got tomatoes, climbing squash, loads of cucumbers, and that's it, pretty much it. If you want to know more about the way that I garden, just take a look in the description below and you find loads of links to additional videos and to my sort of comprehensive gardening ebook, which focuses really on self-sufficiency, but also very efficient self-sufficiency, because I don't have a lot of time for gardening and I have a lot of people to feed. So I have to be fairly organised and, as I say, efficient. Anyway, my name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.